What's up, guys? EDA Talk Sports here, back with another video. This time we're going to be covering the Arsenal versus PSG game. Arsenal running out 2-0 winners. Goals from Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka seals the victory for Arsenal. We're going to be going through all of the details and some thoughts and opinions on how Arsenal performed, how PSG performed, all that fun stuff. Coming into the game, both teams were in pretty decent form. I mean, PSG were unbeaten in the league. They are unbeaten in the league. Won their first Champions League game against Girona 1-0. Bukayo has been shining for them. They've obviously got so much brilliant youth talent within their team. It's just about giving it the necessary time to gel and potentially adding even more quality. I think that's one thing that they potentially need to look at in key positions. But we'll go into the lineups and key things that we can identify from a PSG standpoint. Bukayo, we've already talked about, a brilliant midfield, a little bit lightweight potentially, a little bit lacking maybe a stalwart, but again, three players who have so much ability on the ball and even off the ball. But I think in this game they were potentially a little bit bullied in terms of physicality, and we'll go into that in more detail as we assess the game. From an Arsenal perspective, they've been playing with the same lineup for the last couple of games since Ben White's been taken out of the lineup due to his injury. Timber at right back, Calafiori at left back, and the same team throughout. So going into the one that was expected to be competitive, PSG in great form, Arsenal obviously coming off that last minute winner, and it was a pretty balanced game. Arsenal coming out quite aggressively, showing that they were kind of had the intent in their first Champions League home game, and that effort and energy was consistent. I think PSG had a couple of moments where they threatened, for example, but there was nothing substantial, nothing that kind of led to anything. There was a Neves strike early on in the game before the first goal, but again, nothing to really cause Arsenal any real concern. But the first goal was one that was brilliantly done, to be honest with you. And a cross in Leandro Trossard and an absolutely brilliant header from Kai Havertz, taking the initiative, the bravery to go in and score that goal. And honestly, no other player in the Arsenal team would have scored that goal because of his height, because of his newfound ability to love clashes, duels, challenge and aggressive. When Kai Havertz is like that, he's there, and he's performed with the eye that, and I'm so happy he is. But that goal set Arsenal on their, it set us on the path of which we followed for the rest of the first half. One of pretty much continuous domination. We got a free kick out wide, Bukayo Saka swinging it in, and it it actually evaded pretty much everybody. It did evade everybody, a slight nick on Thomas Partey, but Gabriel or Partey should have really put that ball away. Wasn't dealt well by Donnarumma either, and Arsenal going to the half-time break 2-0 up, a goal from a free kick for Bukayo Saka. And I know some people online trolling and saying, oh, Bukayo Saka's never scored a free kick because of the comparison between him and Cole Palmer. I'll just give my opinion straight up. I've watched Cole Palmer for a long time. I've watched him since he was in the City youth team, when he was playing for England's youth team. He's a player that I have a lot of time for. He's a player that I actually really like. One of my favourites, actually. And comparing him and Bukayo Saka in terms of players, you can do so. There's no problem with it. But what I can is that they are two players that are amazing. And what England should have done in the World Cup was play both of those players. But that's me diverting. If I was to say who is what you really want, I think Saka, the things that Cole Palmer can do on the inside if given the opportunity. If he's given a central role, I believe Saka can do a lot of that. You just maybe wouldn't have seen it because Saka's doing a lot of the dirty work as a winger, especially a winger in Mikel Arteta's side. You don't get to slack. The work rate is the fundamental part of being a winger. So he's up and down. He's working up the pitch at a much higher point. He's not receiving the ball on the half turn as much as others. He's receiving it to feet. So it's just different expectations, different systems, different play styles. I think both players are amazing, but for me, I'll take Saka because he can do what he does on the wing and also inside, and that's just my belief. But I love Cole Palmer brilliant players, two brilliant players, and two players who should hopefully play together for England for a long time to come. Going into the second half, summary is Arsenal gave up way too much control. They gave PSG the ability to control the game a bit too much, in my opinion. I would love to see an orchestrator like the likes of Jorginho come into the team, for example. I'd like to see Arsenal just wrestle the ball back a little bit more. I understand, wanting to be conservative, yes, but I would want a little bit more, if I'm being honest, and I would want us to control the game a little bit more. I understand PSG's quality, the run that they're on. It's very easy to say you want more control in the game against a team that's been near perfect in their own league. However, that's for a team like Arsenal if they want to get to the upper echelons of this competition, which I'm sure is their desire. From an Arsenal perspective, they brought on Kivior for during Timber, suspicions of an injury. Disappointing. Kivior, I thought, actually did really well. Big fan of his, to be honest with you. Yes, I know he lacks in certain areas, but he's solid, he's dependable, he does the job. Mikel Moreno came on for his debut. Brilliant to see. From his brief spell, he was very good defensively. There were some actions where I was like, I want to see how good you are. And it looked like he got beat at one time, but he came back. His recovery speed, his recovery timing was brilliant. And I think he's going to be like a brilliant player in the duels defensively, but I still want to see what he's going to do on the ball. Gabriel Jesus coming on for Leandro Trossard. Trossard put in a good shift, the assist for Kai, and a brilliant cross cannot be understated. Gabriel Jesus, I didn't think offered too much when he came on, and my expectations for him would be a lot more. Lewis Skelly came on for Saka at the end. Good to see him get more game time. Would love to see Wanyeri also get more game time as well. One thing I'm going to talk about, and we're going to get into a separate video about this, but I'm going to give you guys a precursor. I've got concerns about Calafiori. I think he's a really good player going forward, and I think he has a lot to offer in that area, but defensively, I have my concerns, and I'll leave it at that for now. We'll talk about the subs, which we've already mentioned, high level, decent performances all round. Again, yeah, as you can see, Gabriel Jesus didn't really perform very well now. I'd agree with that. My man of Kai Havertz, obviously, the work rate, energy throughout the game. I thought also from a team perspective, Saliba and Gabriel, we've got to give these players more shine. Just because they're defenders doesn't mean they don't deserve to be uplifted in terms of their praise, and they are the best of the best. Partey did well. Moreno coming in, it essentially that phase in and phase out of process. Rice moving back to the 6, Moreno moving into the left-sided centre mid position will be interesting. Martinelli did well. Times his finishing is still a problem. I'm going to need more, because if Martinelli finishes all the chances he should, Arsenal will win this game 4-0. And he performs well, he works hard. I'm not knocking his work rate at all, but that end product is what you will be judged on. And yeah, I think that's it from this game, guys. We'll be covering the next game and some of the other key games that I believe you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will catch you guys in a bit. Peace.